Hello, everyone. An update for you guys. In my opinion, a major update. And that is basically this Quant in the UK leads in legal clarity for, you heard it right, crypto staking. A few months back, Gilbert Verdian over Telegram mentioned this, and if anything, he finally came out of the woodwork for laying dormant for the longest time about the topic. Now we finally got an update in regards to Quant staking and, of course, the UK's position in that. Smash that like if you haven't done so already for myself and Will Fix. We're going to jump into the material in just a moment, but if anything, take a look at the Decent wallet. You will get a discount if you don't have a cold storage. You'll get a discount. Again, you go through platforms like us to get that discount. That's going to play on your screen for just a moment, and we'll come right back.
Hopefully, you're not leaving your cryptocurrency on the exchanges. Exchanges can fail and get hacked. If you don't own the keys to your coin, then you're not in custody of your coin, someone else is. Be sure to get yourself a cold storage wallet. I suggest the Decent wallet after having owned several different wallets. I like the Decent wallet. I like the easy access with the thumbprint. I love the features inside, how it Bluetooths with my phone and gives me a large screen. Also like how I can order two. I use one for a moon bag, coin I'm not going to touch for maybe years. I use the other one as just my regular wallet. You can order two for $219, that's $99 off. Or you can order one if you wish. When you order, your shipping is free if you live in the US, the UK, the EU, or Japan. Order one today. I think you'll be satisfied. To order now and get the discount, you can use the link that's appearing above my head. There's also a link in the description, and generally there's one at the end of all my videos. Go ahead and order now. You'll be satisfied.
All right, welcome back. So with that said, let's jump into this, why it matters, and get Will's takeaway in that regard. So first thing we're going to jump into is shout out to my fellow brother in the space, Sebastian. Did an excellent outline in that regard, in regards to the whole thing of Quant. And like he mentions, he repeats, after regulatory and legal clarity is what Gilbert Verdian said not a moment earlier. The clarity will come into force the 31st of this month, January 2025.
Awesome.
Staking, yes, absolutely, it's coming, zero doubts. And here's where he's referring to. Again, back to Gilbert Verdian, because when you guys see these visuals on the screen like this, the takeaway is this is Gilbert having a conversation on Telegram. So what does it say? Gilbert Verdian of the Quant Network says, we've kept working on the ideas in the background. So now, after getting regulatory and legal clarity, we will be introducing different forms of staking and rewards to encourage even more participation on Overledger platform and the ecosystem. Some of you noticed changes to the terms and the conditions recently. Here's the next part, which I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. And on this, look what it says. UK crypto asset, big news for the UK. Tokenization Summit, I cover this in regards to the City Minister Tulip Sadiq MP confirmed plans to clarify the legal status of crypto asset staking services in the UK law. Again, the whole thing is the UK. And this other thing about this statutory instrument, the Parliament is going to remove any legal uncertainty over whether certain staking services constitute a, quote, collective investment scheme. Again, it's referencing some of the actual law. And this bottom part, the SI ensures that arrangements involving, quote, qualifying crypto assets, as again, defined in this particular law, will not be treated as CIS for regulatory purposes. This clarity is crucial for fostering innovation and confidence in the crypto blockchain sectors. This comes into force January 31st. Wow. And that's big news in my opinion. So I do want to get your key takeaway, sir, in that regard about the UK apparently leading the charge as far as their stance with staking. Quant, the UK, Quant leading that charge. Gilbert Verdian talking about the call to action. Again, your stance in regards to staking moving forward for all of us.
Yeah, seeing this is awesome. We just saw that XDC has opened up staking where you stake the XDC asset and then add a treasury. You earn a treasury yield on that, and it does it in the dollar amount. And now we got Quant that we're going to be able to stake. And I don't know what the percentage are. I don't know if they're going to hook it to treasuries in any way, but nevertheless, the current atmosphere for DeFi is that you have some risk involved, where you go on a site and maybe pick some pairs and you stake some coin, and there's risk involved. In fact, one of the guys that's biggest in DeFi, if you follow his channel, I won't mention his channel because this will sound like a slur. I don't mean it as a slur, but in his staking life, he lost $500,000. That's such a lot of money. It's just not as safe as you want it to be. But I imagine that Quant, and especially like XDC, using treasury yield is, it's backed by the US Treasury. So I don't know what Quant's going to do, and he's talking about several, but I do know this. I don't want to stake my Quant. I mean, if you're going to trust Quant and Quant comes out with staking, then you can trust the staking because you're also trusting the original asset, right? So that's pretty cool, because some people hold a large dollar amount of Quant and XDC and other assets. So I love the idea that you're going to make a yield, because exit strategies could become unnecessary, because the strategy could be brought to us, Max. Could be that we end up with several coins that shoot to the moon and have a giant value, and then we just have even the same company where we can stake things with and earn that yield and not ever sell it. So for me, this is real exciting, because instead of having to make those choices and to feel like we're at some kind of a risk, the original asset coming up with a way to do it, that to me is like having your cake and eat it too. What do you think?
Well, I look at it as though it is a perfect case as I come back on the screen of the whole thing of, yes, you're having your cake and eat it too. Some people point out, what would you actually be paid in? But even in our previous outline that we had before, I did point out to everybody that look at Gilbert Verdian's stance in regards to his position with being highlighted, consulted as an expert when it comes to corporate treasury. So when Will said, you know, the whole thing of treasuries, you didn't know for sure where Quant's position is, I think they're already there. We're already seeing an outline of how that's unraveling, literally a few days, maybe
Yeah.
even a week at the most, before this announcement happened. So to me, the timeline matches up. And if you guys haven't seen that video, I'll put it up on the end screen card for us for your own benefit. But the next thing I want to jump into is also this. And basically, other things in regards to Quant. Oh man, this is so awesome. So just not that long ago, shout out to Quant Papa for some of the research. Really appreciate it. One day ago, Paulo Campigiani, I'm not pronouncing that right, I get it. Blockchain digital identity expert, okay? This guy says that he is glad to announce that the new ISO project on interoperability of digital wallets has been approved. I want to take a moment to come back into the screen and talk about this. So, I covered some deep dives in that regard, even at our X Spaces, which, by the way, every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, one of the topics that got brought up was the whole thing of the over wallet. Interesting to see the terminology here again, because we know that Quant is blockchain agnostic, has full interoperability across the board, 100 plus blockchains for that interoperability, and it's leveraging at scale each and every particular blockchain, right? As we know that Quant is a blockchain operating system, the overledger. So in light of the overwallet news, overwallet is not just blockchain agnostic, it's wallet agnostic, right? Look what it says here. He states that basically with AWI 23042 developed in the context of ISO TC 307, Joint Working Group 4, that's what that stands for, we will develop a reference architecture for DLT-based decentralized identity systems. All right, again, if you're new to the channel, ISO TC 307 is the Quant network standard. Then you have this joint working group, which is number 4 working in that regard. And another thing I want to point out is it's not just Europe, everybody. Gilbert Verdian, Martin Hargreaves, the team, I believe it was last year, or if not last year, 2023. It was either 2023 or 2024. They went over to Japan with some of their working groups to get some of this quote unquote digital identity going on. I pointed this out in the past, and I think this is going to come up here in the near future. Elon Musk of X has an identity, what do you call it, a privacy problem, right? Quant Network went to Japan. I think that'll be another thing that you will see pop up later on, but again, I want to keep it on the subject. But again, what is this? Why does it matter? Well, there's initiatives. And like it says, many regions and countries around the world to create decentralized base identity system to manage people's companies, attributes, credentials. And who do you see? European Digital Identity Wallet in Europe. We got LACnet. We know the LAC chain works directly with Quant. You also have South America, many others. But the G20 fully embraced this approach as part of the blueprint for digital identity services in the future. And some of you guys ask, well, what about the United States? So it says from some years from now, we will have many different digital wallets. How would it be possible to check from someone in the United States for the being valid and basically sure, like how we would have, credentials issued to a wallet from the Europe and back and forth. Again, that's interoperability. I see so many people will in the comments, nothing against them, they'll mention the whole thing. Well, Quant is the UK and it's not the US. Are you sure about that? Are you guys really sure about that? Because as we speak, even part of Gilbert Verdian's resume, it highlights that he's been part of the Federal Reserve Board as a chairman. He still is. All right. So when we talk about interoperability, why would all of a sudden you wouldn't have something going on with the United States and so on? No, they're totally working with the United States. MIT, the collaborations, Thomas Arjano, Internet Engineering Task Force, they do work with the United States. So I don't think that's limited. I also want to get some of your thoughts in that regard, and then we'll show you the last part, how we literally 4 hours ago from the Crypto UK of why this all matters.
Yeah, I want to say something here real quick on Gilbert Verdian. But if there was no Quant or before Quant, what you had was just picture all of the coins. The heads of the coins are wearing their XRP shirt. They got on their XLM shirt. They got on their ADA shirt. They got on, and they're in their own worlds and have created their own chains. But each one of them, especially, are going to be envious of different coins and different groups for what work case that they have. Some coins have multiple work cases. They'll do cross-border, they'll do smart contracts, they'll do, all the different things they do. So there's the thoughts of all of these different coins and tokens having towards one another, thinking, man, I would like to be able to, look how awesome their network is for this, and how awesome is their network for that. Here comes Gilbert Verdian and gives everybody a Quant shirt. Say, hey, put this on. That when you put this on, you're going to get to use all of those chains if you need to. This one's going to bridge to any of them that you want. So if you have something over there you like, we're going to bridge all of that. And he puts a Quant shirt on everybody. He's like the coach of Earth, making things harmonize. And he's brought together so many different things. So now he's doing it with a wallet, So he's already got the Overledger deal. He already doesn't just speak about even though his coin is the answer, what he's doing is answering and solving problems for all of the other coins, tokens, and for the use case that the world has for the Bank of International Settlements. He comes as someone bringing answers, not questions. And wow, I mean, if I was able to give financial advice, I would be like, people need to own some Quant, especially now. So you got that idea. Then you got the tokenomics of Quant. So it's like all my hair stands up. I'm like, man, I'm glad I own a decent bag of Quant.
I love your analogy.
and we can
Yeah.
stake it. Now we can stake it.
Yeah, if you choose to do so. I mean, I
Yeah.
get it. Some people won't, but here's the thing. I want people to understand back to what Will was just talking about in regards to, all of these particular chains and whatnot, because when you see ISO TC 307 as its own standard, and that standard by definition means the foundation for building on blockchain. All right, well, back to this just real quick. I know I took it off the screen. You see here this actually. All right, so you see this was developed in context of ISO TC 307, but Joint Working Group 4. So back to what Will was just talking about. Because if you were a project who's like, well, you know, like I got this thing going on with Axelar, I got this thing going on with all these other particular ones. Okay, and Axelar is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but how can we actually take this to the next level? Like, let's say for example, you don't want to take the time for Axelar or Polygon or all these other ones to just create that interoperability layer with you only. Like we're talking about, like for example, EVM sidechains and whatnot. That's going to take a certain degree of development to make that happen. Well, can Quant be that all-in-one solution? The answer already is yes. How so? It's the joint working groups. So another thing we need to talk about is the countries that have working groups. Say what you want, Quant Network. They already put those working groups in those particular countries. We're not going to do it on this one. I've showed this before, but if you want to look more into it, if you go to Google and you type in, or whatever one you want to use, DuckDuckGo, all right, and you type in ISO TC 307 working group countries or participating countries, you will see there's like over 40 plus countries. And then you'll also see the working groups. And then who are they really working for? So my key thing is this. You're getting not just this whole thing of, this standard, if you will. You're also getting the quote unquote market participants and those working groups to just cut out a lot of time. And time is money. To wrap things up, here's the icing on the cake. We're going to bring you over to this. And it is this particular announcement. Full screen this. It's Crypto UK 4 hours ago, everybody. In a keynote address in the recent tokenization summit, the economic secretary to Treasury, again, Tulip Sadiq, confirmed that the government would proceed with removing legal uncertainty over whether crypto asset staking would basically constitute a quote collective investment scheme or CIS under section 235 of the Financial Services Market Act. Why are we mentioning that? Will and I already reported this the other day. And in the report, it was cited directly from who? The Bank for International Settlements. How recently? January 7th. This is all adding up. And as we get more further into it, understand that a statutory instrument has been laid before Parliament. It will provide clarity. How many times do we hope that in 2025 will we get to this? We're in 2025. This is all aging well, everybody. That arrangements for certain crypto asset staking services, which is, by the way, those that relate to qualifying crypto assets, is defined in paragraph 26F, a qualifying crypto asset of Part 2, Control Investments, of Schedule 1 to the Financial Services and Markets Act of 2000, right? So interesting to see that Crypto UK welcomes the development and they look forward to all this quote unquote clarity. But collaboration with the government to support responsible innovation. On previous screen, we talked about the whole thing of the United States and the UK, and the measure, comes into force the 31st of this month. And look what it says. UK government to proceed with removing legal uncertainty over crypto asset staking. I think this is absolute bombshell. I know I try not to hype it too much because people don't like that. Guys, it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
We don't have to hype it. We just show you what is the presented material and let you decide or do with it. Your final thoughts in that regard. I think this is massive.
Oh, this is some excellent hopium. I mean, just roll you up a big fatty. That's what we just did. We just smoked a big fatty of hopium, and now we can just sit with the buzz knowing that staking XRP, staking some of these other products and what's going on in the world it's going to bring more money to us. So I'm all on board, man. I couldn't be more excited, really, because you know, certain coins that I have, I just get a little actually fearful to stake them somewhere, so I leave them in the wallet. But this kind of staking where it's done by the original asset itself, man, I'm all on board.
I love it. Smoke you a big fat fatty of on-demand
Right.
liquid hopium with the one and only our brother Will Fix. So
Let's get a fatty and
this was
smoke.
a fun this was a fun one to share with you guys. Really appreciate you guys obviously listening to the end of the outline. Hey, if you did, can you just do us a favor and simply type this into the comments? And here's your keyword. It is
Fatty.
fatty. And we'll both know that you listened to the entire outline. We have fun with this, obviously. As the
Heck
saying
yeah, man.
goes, know what you have, know why you hold it. The research and the fatties. Trump Fund, 110%. We'll see you guys on the next one.